What's up, A Squad? How y'all doing out there? Your girl Lex is back for one more video. This time it's on time. You guys will be seeing this on Friday. But anywho, I hope all of you had a great week. And for the ones who are in school, I hope you guys are succeeding so far. For the ones who are in college, same to you. I'm feeling your pain as well. I'm struggling too. But anywho, all is well. As it says on the caption below, this video is called Story Time / a little bit of advice. This is my first time doing a story time, so bear with me. Yeah. And as some of you may or may not know, I'm a little bit long-winded when it comes to giving out a story because I like to give a background information to lead up to the actual thing, but you know, that's just me. If that makes me long-winded, oh well. But anywho, today I'm going to do just that. I'm not going to give too much of a long-winded story, but trust me, you'll get the point. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into it. Today's story kind of hits heavy on my personal life, personal past relationships and stuff, and I'm actually able to talk about it without getting super emotional, so I think that's like a big thumbs up for that. I mean, not really too much of an emotional time, but more like, well, not too much of my emotional spots, but I use the story more of a testimony than a mistake. It's more of a testimony, you know? But anywho, let me get right on into it. Today's story is about my longest past relationship / longest relationship I've ever had was 2.5 years. I'm not going to use no names involved because, you know, the names are just going to be strictly confidential because I personally don't feel like hearing people run up to me on social media asking me why I use their names on my videos for my personal past and stuff. So their name's going to be strictly confidential. No names needed. So basically, I'm going to try really hard to make this story very simple as possible and try not to go in too much detail because y'all need all that. But at the same time, make it worth a story, you know? So, but basically what happened, I dated this guy for 2.5 years. We started dating my junior year because he was always a year above me. So he's older than me by a year. So yeah, no scratch that. I want to say my late sophomore year because he was a junior at the time. That's when we met. His junior year and my sophomore year. So it was like in between my late, like March type area. But yeah, y'all get the point. He was always a year above me, so yeah. So yeah, as of course you guys know, I'm church-based, everything. So of course, the way we met, he came to my church from another state. He moved here with his family and came to my church. So yeah. So I got really close to. I started being acquainted or being real friendly with his niece, and his niece and me. His niece and I became really close friends or whatever. And then that's when I kind of noticed him. So, and the reason why I noticed him so much was because everywhere she go, he was there with her, you know? So I thought, at first, I thought that was her boyfriend. But little did I know that was her uncle. You know, like, he was a real shy fella. Like, I've never met a guy that is so shy in my life. Very put together to himself, very guarded, just wasn't really social to anybody for real. He was just there, you know? But anywho, so that happened. He was really, really shy, and for some reason, I could not figure out why he was so shy. I was trying to get him to talk and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, and say hi or whatever. But that's it. But at the time, that was like about, I want to say September-ish. No, correction. That was around December. Sure was. But yeah, guys, that was around that time, and I remember it so blankly because that was around where we have our church. We have our annual Christmas gala, and yeah, that was like 2014. Yeah. Like I said, as the months went by and everything, he's slowly developing and started being more open to me and being more friendly and being more social around me. So things grew for sure. Yeah. But anyways, the way the Christmas gala was set up, it was over at Yorktown. I forgot where, but it was like a little ballroom setup, and it had like a little patio or like a deck, like around it, like outside. So it's like near the water. Yeah. So me and his niece came up with the bright idea. So let's just go walk around and stuff. You know, let's go outside. You know, it wasn't too cold or nothing. Like just go out and chill. Me, him, and our other friend, just the four of us, to just go out and chill. So obviously her and my friend, they were in front. They started, leading in, and then me and him were in the back just talking and stuff, right? So I tried to edge him on to have him give me his number. You know, I was trying to get him to convince him enough to give me his number, right? But obviously that did not work at all because he wouldn't do it that night. And I felt so embarrassed. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get to know you. I'm kind of feeling you a little bit. So I'm like trying to get to know you more as a person and stuff. So he didn't do it that night. But anyway, so what happens in my family, we always do a pop-up trip every time. And around that time, like we left a day after Christmas and decided to go to Mississippi to see my other side of family. You know, we decided to go down south to Mississippi / Alabama to go see my other side of family for New Year's. Yeah, to spend New Year's Day with them or whatever. So we decided to leave a day after Christmas. And reminding you, I never had his number still. So I'm in the car, you know, it's a 14-hour drive back and forth to Mississippi. So I'm in the car chilling with my headphones in and all that stuff. So we got to Mississippi, finally got to Mississippi, and we spent the night over at my grandmother's house as soon as we got there. So I want to say like December 29th type, I had got a random text message. I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember what I was doing specifically, but I got a random text message from an unknown number. So to basically sum up the beginning of the message, it would say, "Hey, how are you? I miss you already." And I was like, "Oh, for real, I miss you too. How are you doing?" Remind you, don't know who this person is. So I'm just going with it, seeing they're going to say their name or something, right? But anyway, so I was going along with it, and I said, "Oh, how are you?" He was like, "I'm good. Just watching these bad kids and stuff." And I was like, bad kids? I know he has extra nieces and nephews. They're younger than him, like 3 other ones. So I'm like, hold on. Anyway, so I finally got the clue, and the more he was talking, the more I figured it was him. And I was like, wait, how'd you get my number? He was like, don't worry about it, I had my raise. I'm like, your niece gave it to you, didn't she? But anyway, so from that point on, now that he had my number, I was able to communicate with him in a more fashionable way and text him more often. So that's how that started. Yeah. So basically, that's how we start communicating more. He would say how much he missed me and everything. And I'm just like, bro, I never saw this side of you before. Like, who makes you do this? Like, who pranked you enough to tell me that you miss me already? Like, I don't understand, So yeah, but I really liked talking to him, and the fact that we were texting just made things a whole lot easier, and loved it. So I got back in town, got back to Virginia, and then we just decided to start hanging out more. Yeah, so speeding it up a little bit. As the time went by, we started talking more often. Then it just got to the point where we just made it more official that we were together. And when we made it official, we both, decided that, we were ready for it. My mom was not cool with it, okay? I mean, I believe it took me and him to be at least almost to the year mark of us being together for her to finally say it in her own words that we were together, because I swear up and down she didn't feel like I was ready to be in a serious committed relationship, even though I felt like I was, because little did she know I had experience on relationships before. She never knew about this stuff because I was never allowed to date. When somebody tells you no, when your parents tell you no, you end up doing it anyways, just because you want to know how it feels or you want to experience it for yourself. That's how I was. And still is a little bit, not gonna lie. Still a little bit. But yeah, that's what we call being rebellious. Doing what you want to do, what you feel like you want to do, despite on what your authorities tell you or authorities suggest that you do. You do what you want. Yeah. That was me growing up, because my mom never allowed me to date, ever. So, and I want to experience what this thing called love is, what this thing called dating is. And at the time, we used to call it going out. And now that I think about it, I'm like I talked to my friend about it recently, and I was like, we used to call this, we had so many terms back in the day. Like, we used to call dating going out. And we're like, going out where? We were in school the whole time. Like, where we're going, you know? At the time, that was the thing. That was the words to say. When you're dating somebody that you like, hey, I like you, let's go out. You guys were dating in school. Most of y'all didn't even have permission to date, but y'all dated anyways. Like, like y'all dates were like recess time. We went on recess and played together and ate lunch together. That was the dates. Lunch date and playtime. But that was a thing though, you know. Oh man, I feel so old just thinking about it. But yeah, times definitely has changed now for real. It ain't the same way anymore in 2010. Not at all. But let me move on to my story. That's another part of me. I get sidetracked a lot. But basically, so yeah, it took a minute. It took a long minute for her to realize that we were dating. So she finally came to terms that this guy was my boyfriend, and it was gonna be like that, whether she liked it or not. And she became okay with it. She was acceptance of it. So, and I believe the reason why she became okay with it, that me and him were dating, because of the fact that he was in the church. You know, like, he actually wanted to be in church, got baptized and all that stuff. Like, you know, he was in the church, and she always wanted me to date somebody. You know, and she always wanted me to date someone who's in a church and actually wants to be in a church, not just because I'm there, but because they want a relationship with God. And she's still that way. She still wants me to date somebody who desires to have a relationship with God and desires to be close to God and, you know, have that bond with God, so we can have that connection together through God. So that's just always been that thing for her. And same to me. Like, I've always wanted to date / marry somebody who wants to be in a church and, you know, wants to experience God with me. Like, that's my motive. Like, if you're not trying to be in the church, you're not trying to be with me. You know? So, I mean, not saying that I'm like super soul saved, because I'm not. God's still dealing with me even now. But I can say that I actually am seeking God and, you know, making sure my relationship with God gets stronger and stronger every day. But anyways, again, back to my story. So basically, he was in the church and she completely digged that. Like, she loved the fact that he was in the apostolic church with me, and yeah, so she became okay with it. You know, she was cool with it. Whatever. Yeah. Then got the parents' approval, and then his family was approved of me and us being together and all that stuff. Then he started to come around even more so because of the fact that we were dating. Yeah. Of course, when he came to my house, it was definitely chaperoned, or we wasn't by ourselves like that, like at all, because my mom did not play that in her house. She said, "No, you're not gonna be by yourself. I'm coming downstairs with you," you know. Yeah. Of course, when he came to my house, it was definitely chaperoned, or we wasn't by ourselves like that, like at all, because my mom did not play that in her house. She said, "No, you're not gonna be by yourself. I'm coming downstairs with you," you know. Yeah, so that happened. So to speak up a little bit more to the core of the story, things happen and relationships do fail sometimes. And the only reason why they were down here because his sister was married to her husband at the time. And of course, her now ex-husband was a photographer, so he was already living here. So she decided to move down here, well, to move up here from Georgia, and he came with her. So yeah. So yeah, my ex-boyfriend, boyfriend at the time, came with her, along with her other kids, because he felt that the high schools were better here than down south in Georgia. So that's why he came along. Yeah. But, so like I said, relationships do fail. Eventually, her husband had got a divorce, sadly. And her mother, her and my ex-boyfriend's mom, make a commitment that if something bad like that happens, they were kind of forced to move back to Georgia, because her mom did not want her out in Virginia by herself, because she didn't really have anybody there for real, just, you know, her husband at the time. So they were kind of forced to move back there. Yeah. And that kind of tested out. That kind of will put a test on me and my boyfriend's relationship. So that made us think about what our future holds as a couple. So, but considering the fact how my history with long distance relationships, I do poorly at it because I always get hurt at the end of it. Like, it never succeeds for me. I always get cheated on, so forth and so on. So I just stopped doing it. But for some reason, our relationship was a little bit different and gave me more hope. It gave me the reason to have faith that we can still press on, even through this difficult time. You know, we can still go through it. Basically, we made a decision that we were going to try out this long distance relationship and try going long distance, but yet, you know, still be together. So we made a commitment that we were going to talk to each other every day, you know, FaceTime, video chat, all of that. Like, we made a commitment that we're going to talk to each other every day, all night, all that good stuff, you know. So we stayed on top of it, and Dad lasted for maybe a year and a half. Yeah. That time, that was around his senior year, my junior year. He left. They left his senior year, so he had spent his senior year going back to Georgia. So, and I was stuck here. But like I said, it lasted, that whole video chat and stuff. It went good for a year. Then as the time went on, his senior year is coming to a close. You know, he decided he wanted me to come down to see him for prom. So yeah, he wanted me down. He wanted me to spend his prom with him. And reminding you, that's from Athens, Georgia to here. That's like a whole 8-hour drive. So I had to choose Dad asked me to choose either to go to his prom or to his high school graduation, because he couldn't do both, because my dad could not take a lot of vacation time. So I had to either pick one, which one I want to go to, and I definitely did not want him going to prom by himself, you know. So I decided to go to his prom and spend his prom with him. My first ever school dance. Never been to a school dance in my life because my mom did not play that either. So she allowed me, gave me permission to go to his prom. So it was nice. I mean, I bought a dress, shoes, and all. Like, I was set. I was ready. I was excited. I couldn't wait to see him because I haven't seen him at the time. It was almost a year and I didn't see him. So I was, like, super excited to see my boo, you know. Anyways, speeding up a little bit more, went to his prom. He looked so handsome, of course, and I looked so good, of course. I wish I still had pictures. I think I still do have pictures. I have to put the eye insert in them later. You guys see this at the end of the video. But yeah, so his mother took us. His mother was our chaperone / chauffeur. So his mother took us to his prom and everything because he didn't have a car at the time. But yeah, so it was fun. I enjoyed myself. His friends were super friendly towards me. And so at the end of the prom, he decided he didn't want to go at the prom. So instead, we went out to eat. Because I had to leave the day after. His prom was that Friday night. I had to leave that Saturday morning. So my dad had to be at work that following Monday. So, for him to get some sleep and stuff, he wanted to be at church. So he had to be at church and had to be at work that Monday. So we had to leave that Saturday morning going back home. So yeah, that Friday night was the only time I could spend with him. So I took advantage of it. We had a lot of time together and everything. So it was nice. We were very saddened that I had to leave early. He was not okay with that. But yeah, so came back to Virginia, came back here. Then I missed his graduation, high school graduation. I was so upset about it, but of course he was on my mind, so I was definitely thinking about him and everything. But to pause and rewind a little bit, before his graduation, he didn't know what he wanted to do in life at first, but then as time went by, he decided he wanted to go into the Army. So he made a very, very big decision and decided to go into the Army Reserves at the time. And so he was scheduled to leave for basic training like a few days after his high school graduation. So yeah. But yeah, so the next time I was able to even see him was at his boot camp graduation, which is months after. So I wasn't able to see him. Then on top of that, I wasn't able to talk to him much because of the fact that he was in basic. So I had to rely on just letters from him. And maybe once a month phone calls or whatever, depending on how the branch is, because each branch is different. But the Army, he was gone for 3 months, and I was only able to have just rely on letters and get like once a month phone calls. It was extremely hard for me. I've never thought in a million years that I would be dating someone in the military. Never thought it. Never knew I was even. I just didn't think it was gonna be me, you know. Never. So of course, for the ones who have significant others in the military, y'all understand the struggle was completely real, especially throughout basic training, not be able to talk to them however you want and all that stuff, not be able to hear from them. Of course, I was extremely upset. It was the longest 3 months of my entire life, okay? Like, I never experienced something so hard in my life. So, and the only thing I had to rely on was my best friend Tamia, because she understood what I was going through. So going on those 3 months, I was able to go to his boot camp graduation, and it was super awesome. I was so excited to see him walk and, you know, just succeed in life and all that. It was really fun. So yeah, let me tell y'all, after boot camp, I think after he graduated from boot camp, he had to go back to Georgia for a few days. Well, a few days turned into years. Y'all understand why I said that in a minute. Anyway, so let me tell y'all, back up again. Prior to him going to basic, or prior to him going to even deciding to step in foot into the military, this dude never liked anybody who cussed. Like, he despised cuss words. But when I tell y'all the military truly changed him, he came out cussing like a sailor. Like, almost every syllable or almost every other word was a cuss word for him. And I'm like, this nigga really done changed in front of my eyes, you know? I'm like, okay, bro, like, this dude really done changed. Like, the military changed him for the bad. Like, he didn't come out the same at all. And I didn't like the change that he was coming out as, you know? Like, it was weird. Like, his mindset was different. He was cussing like crazy, you know, doing really weird stuff, just being influenced in every way. And I'm just like, this is not the same guy I was dating months ago. But yeah, so from that point on, things just got really toxic, and it just went downhill from there. Like I said, he changed. I mean, before he went into the military, he didn't want to be sexually active. He didn't want to be sexual in any type of way at all. Then all of a sudden, now he's out the military, now he wants to do all this, now he want to be all freaky and want to do this, that, and the third, and be more, you know, optimistic about sex. And he just changed. And you know, he knew from the jump that I wanted to keep my legs closed until marriage. Still do, not trying to open them for nobody. And he knew that from the jump. So the fact that he was super, like, into having sex at any point, it was like... So yeah, I was like, okay, bro, this is not you. Usually you're very, like, respectful of my decisions and standards. Now you're, like, trying to convince me to do otherwise. And I'm just like, okay, this is not the same guy at all that I knew, like, a year ago. Anyways, like I said, the time went by, and then, you know, he decided to stay. The plan was for him to come back to Virginia, wait for me to graduate high school, which was, like... It was my senior year coming up, so I was like, okay, let's come back, wait for me to graduate high school, and then wherever you go, I'll go with you, you know? So I'm like, let's just do that. And that was the plan. Before he went into the military, that was the plan, that he was going to come back after boot camp and wait for me, right? That was not the case. Things went sideways so quickly. Basically, he never came back. Ever. He decided to stay in Georgia. Then that's when things got even more crazy, because of the fact that he was still long distance. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, he decided to stay in Georgia, and then that's when our relationship got more, like, strenuous, because of the fact that we were still long distance. And I was involved in so many things in my school. I became more, you know, interactive in ROTC. So yeah, my schedule was even more impacted, because of the fact that I was in ROTC and, you know, drill team, all that stuff. Like, I became more involved in school my senior year. So that meant less time talking to him, you know. So that happened, and then, yeah, that happened. So our relationship just became more toxic because of the fact that we started arguing more and our phone calls were a little more drier than usual. So the phone calls got to the point where we just barely talked about anything. You know, like we didn't really have anything much to talk about because we just didn't have any much to talk about. And then that became irritating, and then arguments start leading up, petty arguments, you know. So yeah, and then our 2-year anniversary was leading up, and I asked him, I said, well, can you come and see me for our 2-year anniversary, because I came and saw you for prom and everything. I'm always coming to see you. Can you come see me this time, you know? So yeah, he made his way down for our 2-year anniversary. We spent our 2-year anniversary together, went to the mall and took pictures and stuff, and went to this jeweler store in the mall. And to make that a long story short, a salesman kind of convinced us to come in to look around. And I saw this gorgeous diamond ring. Like, it just, as soon as I walked into the jewelry store, I saw this gorgeous diamond ring just sitting there. And I was like, whoa. Like, I was at awe. Like, I've never seen something so beautiful and so shiny ever. Like, it was gorgeous. Like, it hit my eye right then and there. And my boyfriend noticed that, you know, he saw that I was looking at that, and so did the salesman. So the salesman saw that I was gazing at that gorgeous ring, and he was, oh, you like that ring? I said, yeah, I like it. He was behind the table, and he was like, oh, I see that you got an eye on something. I said, yeah, this ring is beautiful. And then he looked at my boyfriend. I'm just looking at him like, so basically, the salesman was talking to us and everything. He was like, this is a special occasion or something. I said, oh, just our 2-year anniversary. She's like, well, he's like, that's a big milestone. I'm like, yeah, we make it very far and everything, and, you know, it's a very nice occasion. So at the end of this whole trip, Trey ended up buying the ring. I thought it looked more like a promise ring more than anything. I didn't really ask for anything. I just saw it. Like, he got convinced to buy the ring. I didn't ask him to buy it. Like, nobody asked him to buy it. I just saw it. He saw that I was gazing so hard at it. He asked me, he was like, oh, you know, you want that ring? I'm like, I love it. Do I want it? The ring was very expensive, so I'm like, I'm not going to ask you to buy it. But, like I said, he ended up buying it. And I didn't really think too much of it. Like I said, I thought the ring was like more of a promise ring than an engagement ring. But little did I know, he proposed with it in my kitchen floor. My parents weren't around. So needless to say, it was a very interesting proposal. I said, can I see the ring? He was like, sure. He took it out. Next thing you know, I'm looking at the ring and he down on one knee. And I'm like, what's going on? This is not the way I thought I'll ever get proposed to, but okay. And then he looked at me, was like, so will you marry me? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, of course I want to marry you one day. But I didn't know what he meant. This is the proposal. I'm asking you to marry me on the real. Like, what? So yeah, he was pretty serious about the proposal and put the ring on my finger. This is my ring finger, not this. This is my right hand. This is my left. Okay, guys. So he put it on my ring finger, and I'm just like, pretty. He did. He definitely proposed. It was the most weirdest way to propose to your girlfriend. That was a what to do, like what not to do for a proposal. Don't propose on your girl's kitchen floor with no witnesses, you know? Like, for the ones, like, for real, I think I stress this enough. I'm an extreme hopeless romantic, and I love romance, so that was, like, the least bottom romantic thing I've ever could think of. Like, who proposed on the kitchen floor with nobody there to watch you? So, I wasn't too happy about it, but, you know, I loved him, so I'm like, you know, whatever. I didn't really think too much of it, but I was like, bro, we gotta try this again another time. Yeah, it wasn't good. But anyway, so eventually I told my mom that he did propose. She was just as shocked. She was like, when was this? And I'm like, I told her this like a day or two after the proposal, and I told her, oh, 2 days ago. He proposed 2 days ago on the kitchen floor. And she was like, and where was I? I said, well, you and Dad was upstairs. So it was just us two and downstairs watching TV, and then he decided to do so. So, yeah. She was just as shocked as I was. She was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so we were engaged. That was in January. Our 2-year anniversary was January 18th at the time. So that was in January, so we were engaged all the way up to coming up to my high school graduation. We were engaged for 6 months, the long 6 months. And when you think a relationship would get better after the ring, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. If the relationship was already toxic prior to the ring will make it better. Like at that point, the ring just makes it a ring. It doesn't symbolize anything because the relationship wasn't at a good standard from the get-go. So putting a ring on it won't necessarily make it better. It just gets worse. Like that's exactly what we did. We got worse. The relationship got even more toxic to the point where we were fighting like a married couple who was literally about to get a divorce. That's how we were arguing. So having that ring on was nothing. And it got to the point where I'm sitting there trying to like make amends in the relationship and make things better for us. And I felt like for a long time that I was just fighting by myself because he would never try to make an effort to make us better as a couple. You feel me? So leading up to my graduation, he came to my prom. I wish he didn't. I really wish he did not come to my prom. I really wish he broke up with me before prom because he made my prom a living hell. Like, first foremost, he wore tennis shoes to my prom. A very formal event he wore tennis shoes with. But at his prom, he wore dress shoes. Think about that. Just take a moment. So I found that highly disrespectful that he wore tennis shoes with a tuxedo. And I'm sure most people back me up on that. That was highly disrespectful. At a formal event, though. Then second, we got to prom and everything. Our prom was at Hampton University. First class to ever have our prom at Hampton University. So turned up 2016. It was a lit time for me. It was turned up, like, it was really turned. I was with my friends. We decided to sit with my friends and stuff. You'll think he'll be more, sociable around my friends. That was not the case. He was on his phone the whole time. The whole time. Like, it was so bad. I had to force him to slow dance with me. Like, I had to literally convince him enough to come and slow dance with me on the dance floor, along with the other couples. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do it. Like, and then not to mention after prom. Prom ended around 1 o'clock in the morning. So everybody was going to after prom. And I've never been to after prom in my life because we didn't go to his after prom because he didn't want to go. But I wanted to go experience after prom. After prom was at Rebounders in Newport News. And I was like, gee, that sounds like it could be really fun. So I'm like, hey, can we at least go see where it's at? Let's just stay we can just stay for a few minutes to an hour. And I just, see how it feels. Like, I want to be able to say I went to after prom. You feel me? But, of course, he was a party pooper. He didn't want to go. He only went because I convinced him enough to go. I begged him, just go see, let's go see what's up over there, I never knew Rebounders even existed over there, so I wanted to go and see. So when we got there, for the ones who know where Rebounders is, if you have Rebounders in your city or whatever the case may be, you know how Rebounders set up, got chairs and stuff, and then they got bouncy houses. It's like an adult version of Chuck E. Cheese, to be honest, but it was fun. He decided he wanted to sit down the whole entire time. So I'm like, okay, so you don't want to come and jump around nowhere? The music was blasting. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was pretty lit. So we, wanted to have some fun. But he didn't want to do nothing. He wanted to sit there like he lost his best friend. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to sit there and I'm going around and go out with my friends and just, have some fun. And if you want to join me, I'll let you know where I'm at. So he sat there with his head down, looking like he lost his best friend or something, like it was so bad. He had my friends saw him looking like something done just happened, coming to me, asked me what's wrong with my own boyfriend because he looked like he's sad or something, And I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong with that nigga. So I got to the point where I was just super irritated because the fact that people coming to me saying, you better go tend to your nigga because he look like he lost his best friend. Are you not pleasing him the way he wants to be pleased? Like, what's going on with your boyfriend? I'm just like, bruh, Eventually, I got upset and I said, are you ready to go? He was like, yes, I've been ready to go. And I was like, okay, bad, let's just go. That was like 2:30 in the morning. So I was like, we didn't even stay that long. That's crazy. We didn't even stay that long at all. So I was like, okay, let's just go because I'm tired of it now, So he took me back home and everything. The car ride was pretty silent because I was just super irritated by the whole situation. So he took me back home and everything. And yeah. And then my mom made me feel bad because apparently he talked to her hours before we went to after prom because I had to go back home to change. I didn't want to go to the prom with my dress on and jumping around. So I went back to change. A little did I know they were having a conversation downstairs. So apparently my mom said that he didn't want to go to the prom at all. Like he just wanted to go out to eat, spend some time with me and all that stuff. Like he didn't want to be around people. He just wanted to just be me and him. But he didn't tell me that at all. Because if he told me that, I probably would never went, you know? So I felt bad about the situation and I texted him that night, or I had him come back and see me that night, and I said, well, you want to go out to eat in the morning, like a little breakfast date, just to make up for everything that just happened? So we agreed that we were going to go out to Denny's that Saturday morning as a little breakfast date and just, you know, spend a little bit of time together before he left to go back to Georgia because he was driving the whole time. He had a car at the time, so he had to go back. Oh, yeah, we went to Denny's and spent some time together. And then the whole time we was at Denny's, my mom was texting me, telling me that it was like we left Denny's around like 2-something afternoon. My mom was telling me that it's best that he gets on the road now, that it was best to get off the road, and because we didn't want him on a road all night because things happen when you're super sleepy. So we didn't want him to have that chance to get super sleepy at night. So we wanted him to get home at a good amount of time, you know. The highway is super crazy, and especially at night when you're like super tired, things happen on the highway, things happen on interstate. So we wanted him to get back home safely. So in order for that to happen, he had to leave as soon as possible in the daylight, you know. So she kind of got me concerned over that, and I convinced him enough, well, let's go, let's leave so you can get on the highway as soon as possible so you won't have any trouble getting back home, so you can get home at least around like 9, 10 o'clock tonight, you know. So, yeah. To also make that story short, he got mad at me because I wanted to rush him home so quickly. And it made it seem like I didn't want to see him anymore, but that was far from the case. I was just scared for his life. But he didn't get that. He was just upset and then zoomed away, and I didn't hear from him those following Mondays. But those following like 3 days, I didn't hear from him at all. I kept contacting his mom to at least make sure to tell me that he got home safely, you know. So anyways, his mom did tell me that he got back into the house around like that Sunday night. So I was like, well, thank God, I'm glad he's okay. But he didn't call me at all, like at all. Instead of calling me the whole time he was on the road, he called his sister, who was younger than him. Like instead of keeping in contact with me, he was talking to his sister the whole time that he was on the road. And I'm like, bruh, really? Like he would ignore my phone calls the whole entire time because he didn't want to talk to me. And I said, really? You gonna diss your own fiance? Like, that's how you feeling, bro? For real? Really? Like, and the reason why I know all this is because I talked to his sister and she told me the whole situation and that he didn't want to talk to me. And he knew I was calling him, but he didn't want to answer because he wasn't able to talk to me. And I was like, really? Like, but I was like, okay, whatever. So he ended up calling me back that Tuesday morning or whatever. He wound up calling me and we got into a whole nother heated conversation. Then the heated conversation led up to him saying that he wanted to take a break from me altogether. Guys, when I hear, from my experience, I don't know about y'all, but from my experience, when I hear that somebody wants to take a break from another person, that always leads to breakup. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for me personally, that always leads to a breakup, and I was not having that. But he insisted that we take a break from each other and all that stuff. So reluctantly, I went ahead and, went with it. But I said, look, we're only taking this break for a reason to reevaluate ourselves. Like, this does not give you permission. Just because we're on a break does not mean you can go ahead and be whatever and go and flirt around with other females and stuff. Like, no, we're doing this for a reason, to make ourselves better together, you know? And to make sure that he stood like that, make sure that he was getting himself together, I had his niece be my eyes and ears, because at the time she was living with him. So I said, can you be my eyes and ears? I contacted her and said, hey, told her the situation. I told her the situation, and I told her what was going on. I let her know, well, since I'm not there, I'm not in Georgia, but you are. You see him every day. So can you talk to him and try to see where his mind is at, but also be my eyes and ears and check on him, make sure he's good. So, yeah, this was all like days, I think like a day or two before my graduation. So I graduated high school. He of course he did not show up for my high school graduation, but yeah, that happened. The next thing you know, 3 days later, after my high school graduation, 3 days later, I got a text from his niece, because I was talking to her the whole time. It was on a Wednesday evening. I got a text from her, and she was telling me. She said that she was talking to him while she was texting me, and he was saying that he does not want to be with me anymore. He lost all feelings for me in that way. He does not love me the way he used to. Like, he lost all the sparks. So that was all going on while I was at Bible study Wednesday night, and he just completely gave up on us, and I was very, very hurt. I ran out the sanctuary crying, and I had a few key people to kind of like be there for me when I was in a very depressing mood. I was crying in the bathroom, crying my eyes out. I never cried so hard for somebody that I thought I loved so much. Like, you have to understand, I was so hurt. I devoted my life to this guy for 2 years at the time. And I was like, bro, it felt like I wasted 2 years of my life when I could have been happy with someone else who could treat me a whole lot better, So I was hurt for a long time. It took months for me to get over the feeling of being hurt from him. It took a long time, and I'm just now finally getting used to it, like, I wouldn't say I'm just now getting used to everything, but the healing process, I think I'm a lot better in the healing process. Like, I'm able to talk about the situation without getting super emotional, you feel me? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm completely moved on from him. I rarely think about him at all. His family still does keep in contact with me, and that's all. I never want that to stop, because they were always family to me anyways, But we both moved on. He moved on recently. Now he's remarried. Well, never remarried. We never got married, but he's married to a whole nother girl. I said, as long as he's happy, I'm happy, That's all I really care about. I've never wished nothing bad on him, ever. I was just very disappointed on how he handled the situation. I feel like he could have handled us a little better, and expected us to have a friendship afterwards. Nah, bro, that's not how you work. Like, you don't get to just have your niece do your dirty work and break up with me through text message. And it wasn't even you. It was your niece breaking up with me for you. And then expect us to be friends. Sorry. But yeah, anyways, I'm in a better place now, I'm happy. I'm in a very better place. Just know that relationships are being amended and being worked on, but yeah. And he seems to be happy. He's married, whole ring and everything. Like, he's married and everything. So, and he seems to be enjoying the married life. So, I'm happy for him. I've always wanted him to be happy. So, Yeah, I guess if anyone who would ask me what I would say to young people these days who are going through a toxic relationship, or who has been through a toxic relationship and they don't think they can move on, just know you can. It's never good to be in a toxic relationship. For real, on the real, like, personally for me, I feel like I was being like a dead horse for 2.5 years, Like, if you see that your relationship is not going anywhere positive, why stick in it, Don't get me wrong. I know that it will hurt. The pain does hurt. Like, once you make a decision to leave that relationship that's no good for you, it's still going to hurt, but you're going to be okay. Like, you are so much better than that. Like, if you would just allow yourself to just focus on God and trust God's timing, God will send you somebody to turn your life around and give you that true love that you so desire to have, But you have to trust God's timing, God doesn't do anything at the wrong timing at all. Everything is literally at perfect timing, but you have to take that leap of faith and trust it and, make yourself better, But you can't do that while still being like a dead horse trying to make a relationship work when you already know for a fact it won't? Like, come on, let's be real. You'll eventually tire yourself out, to be honest, like, for real. But that's just my advice to anyone who's currently going through, or knows somebody who's going through a toxic relationship. You know, everybody makes their own decisions, and if they choose to stick on that relationship that's toxic, you know, that's just them. It literally has to take God himself to remove that person out of their life in order for them to finally move on and just cope and heal properly, you know? Like, for real, it takes God himself. You know, all I can really do, or all I can really say is just to continue to pray about it and trust God that he'll make a way. And like I said, if you're in a toxic relationship, you know you're in a toxic relationship, come on, man. It's time to get out, you know. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time, and I hope, you know, you learned from something. I hope my story has not only not my story. I hope my testimony has taught you guys something, and not only teach you something, but also uplift you that love does exist, and no matter what you go through, no matter what relationship you may see yourself in, that God will always make a way and always bring the light into a darkness time. That's basically it. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video just as much as I enjoyed making it. I am so thankful for all my supporters, all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. Today's shout out goes to Mika Williams. Thank you, girl, for having your thank you for having your post notification post notification bell on. You are amazing. I've seen your comments. You really are a true supporter, so I definitely appreciate you. Thank you. And for anyone else who wants a notification shout out on any one of my videos, you guys know what to do. I stress it long enough. Subscribe to the channel, like all my videos, and comment down below if you've done all of that, and you may hear your name on my next video. Yeah, please do that, and also follow me on any other social media accounts that I will put on the description below. In Snapchat and Instagram, those are my two main social medias that I stay on constantly, so please go do that. I'll constantly put updates on my social medias practically every other day, if not every day, or every Friday, or every Thursday night. So you guys go in to follow me on those so you can stay in touch with what I'm doing. That's it for today. Like I said, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Let's make this weekend a fantastic weekend, and I hope to see all of you once again in my next video. Love you. Mwah.